or you put food in your mouth. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to John Talks to Lamb and Lamb Talks to John. I am John. This over here
I
is
am Lamb.
Yes, we're back.
And I'm blind
again.
today. I left my
He's
glasses
blind.
over there. I could go get them, but they're on the other side of the room, and I don't feel like getting them because I got to take out my headphones. It's a whole process. So if you see me doing like this, it's because I can't see.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a lot of reading on today's episode, so he's going to be squinting a lot.
Oh, boy.
I say that because I don't know, you journal, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, how often do you journal, and what triggers your desire to journal in the first place?
I should journal a lot more, but typically I end up journaling whenever I'm overwhelmed or very emotionally. So on average, maybe once, if not twice every 2 weeks or so. It kind of comes and goes, but usually it's just because I just need to process something, or I realize, hey, there's a lot going on and I'm losing my mind. I just need to write this stuff out so I can just try to make sense of it. And the way that I journal, it's almost like a conversation with myself.
Right.
And it's also me processing as I go. So it'll start off with the most detrimental thing. And then as I go, I'm making sense of it. And by the end of it, it's me trying to uplift myself as well as, or it's either me uplifting myself or me being upset with myself.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's kind of how I journal. I hear that you've been journaling recently.
Oh, God, yeah. So the last 2 months, right, since I've kind of been getting out there, I've been doing a lot of things. I've been getting a lot of experiences under my belt. And I don't really my journal entries are not so much nice. That's a good crunch.
I didn't know you could hear that. Sorry. My bad.
This episode brought to you by the biggest Cheeto I've ever seen in my life.
Actually, before we continue, it's not Cheetos.
What is this?
Hers, HERRS.
Oh.
And this flavor specifically is honey cheese, and it's my favorite chip right now. It's my favorite snack.
Mean, you put honey on anything, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
And this right here, I found out they had I get it at Ollie's. And I found out they had a family size bag.
Oh, danger.
It's been dangerous. It's been real bad.
Yeah. Have you ever had hot honey before?
I probably tasted it, but not really enjoyed it because I don't like hot food too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is fair.
But they have
the greatest pizza I've ever had in my life. It was, I don't remember what meat was on it, but it was hot honey. I think maybe a pepperoni, and my God. I had two pizzas that day, my own and somebody else's, because they got hot honey and they went, "Ooh, it's too hot for me."
Oh,
and
no.
I went, "Well, I'll try a bite," and then I want the whole thing. Yep.
I will say, what's it called? Chili's has their mozzarella sticks, and I guess it sticks in tendies, and they have a honey chipotle flavor.
Okay.
It's really good. It's very sweet, but also hot.
Good. Yeah.
But yes, back to detrimental journaling.
Journaling, right. Yeah, so like I said, I've been getting a lot of experiences under my belt, and I tend to well, I mean, historically, I emotionally repress the problems that I have, and then
it's kind of built into you to do that.
Kind of run away from them. I've earlier this week, I think this was maybe on Monday, I had a bit of, I'm hesitant to call it a mental breakdown, but it wasn't a full panic attack, and it wasn't it was just me going, maybe I should walk you through it. That way you can sort of have some context of what was going on in my head at the time, right? So I've been meeting a lot of new people, been making a lot of new friends, and getting pretty close with some of these friends, to the point where I was revealing parts of myself to them that I had not really told anybody about, about my history, about my past, of my backstory, basically, and some of the quote unquote traumas that I am trying to unpackage and learn how to deal with.
So you're trauma dumping.
That is, in for lack of a better term, exactly what it is.
Hey,
I'm trauma dumping and trauma bonding with people. And
it just kind of happens sometimes. I think when you stop masking, it just kind of slips out sometimes. And you don't do it intentionally every time. It's just kind of, it's on your mind, and sometimes somebody will say something that just you just feel like you just have to explain it or talk to someone about it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as a king of trauma dumping.
Right, right. It makes me feel I have no problem when people do it to me. Like if they want to tell me stuff, I feel like I am such a good listener. And I'm pretty sure I've said this on here before that people tend to just tell me things
Hmm.
because I don't know, I exude a trustworthy energy. I have a face. I don't know what the reason is that people tell me stuff, but they do. And I never have a problem listening and like just listening or offering advice if that's what they're looking for in that moment, right? But the second that the shoe goes to the other foot and it's time for me to go, oh, yeah, here's a problem that I'm dealing with, I'm like, I don't have any problems. I've never had problems and I will never have problems. Thank you for
Mm-mm.
asking, but that's it,
Yeah.
right? And then we move on, and I deflect, or something else. Something pops up, and we never really actually end up dealing with whatever it is that I was trying to deal with.
Well, that's a trauma response, buddy. I wish I think you
Uh,
know that by now.
hey, look at that! Yeah, you're ahead of the curve on this
Oh
one.
yeah, listen.
I,
Hey, I've been to therapy for a long time. I've
hmm
dealt with a lot of stuff. I see patterns in other people. I get it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah. I mean, I did that on I think it was Sunday to somebody. Maybe it was like Saturday night, Sunday. It was over the weekend.
Hmm. Over the last weekend.
Yes, over last week and 1 week ago from now, I revealed too much about myself to this person, and they were very accepting and very like supportive of what it was. But then the next day, it just kept replaying in my head over and over again. I went, "Oh my god, you said way too much. Like you are not even because I was scared of the person. I mean, obviously that was part of it, right? I was scared of the person running away that I was trying to get to know better and like wanted to share stuff with, but then and in the moment it was fine, right? And I was able to reveal that part of myself. Um, some pretty bad stuff that I haven't really quite dealt with myself.
Hmm.
That I'm gonna keep vague because I still haven't dealt with it. I pulled open a scab and showed somebody my wound, and they went, "Oh my god, why did you do that? That's so gross. You're supposed to be a positive influence to people around you,
I don't think
not a
that's how that
negative."
happened. I think that's might be how you're perceiving it.
It's exactly how I mean, both because that's what I did, right? I don't know if I've said this on here. I'm sure I have. I've been telling this to everybody because I'm trying to manifest it as best I can, right? I want to be a sunbeam, a sunbeam of positivity, a force for change, for good to
Hmm.
everybody and everything around me, because that's just what I enjoy doing. And the response that I've got to people from people over that, like I got a message from a friend not even from a friend. I say they're my friend because I've never met them. They sent me a message and they're like, "Hey, I like heard about." Let me just read the message.
Oh my goodness.
It was the sweetest thing I've like completely unsolicited. It was this was a message that I received through my DMs. It was, "We have not officially met, but your energy." No, sorry. But I've been going through what you've done recently, and your energy is so beautiful and glowy. Keep enjoying life and the amazing journey you're on. I just wanted you to know that you are special and loved. We will meet someday. And then they signed their name. And I was like, I woke up to
Goodness.
that message this
That's
morning and I went,
wild.
"Oh my god!" It's like, I mean, I'm still riding a high from that
Hey, that's
message.
awesome.
Yeah, it's so okay. You have a question?
I have an interjection, but I'll hold it.
Okay, okay. That's the energy. That is the exact vibe that I want to put out so bad.
Hmm.
So when I compromise that image of myself, it's not even an image. It's just it's the most forward part of myself that gets to interact with people. So people I feel are naturally drawn towards that because that's what I'm drawn towards. I'm drawn towards people that are happy and bubbly and outgoing, and like they just are extroverted. I feel that energy is just awesome, right? And so I'm like, that's what I want for me to for other people to experience, right? Like I'm like a battery, right? It's shooting off all of this energy around me, and all that energy is supposed to be good. So when that little storm cloud starts to move in front of my little sunbeam of positivity that goes, hey, remember that bad thing that happened to you that one time that you haven't really dealt with and have just sort of pushed to the side, or like why you became the person that you became 5 years ago, why all of this stuff, right? And then I like tell that to somebody, it like the energy, the happiness, it just goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're sad and it's the energy is just brought down and it's
Oh
kind of a
yeah.
bummer.
Mm-hmm.
So like I I always feel that internally. I don't know what they're feeling, obviously, but like every time I do that, and the entire day after I've told this person all of these things about myself that I don't tell people because I'm not supposed to. It's not who I am, it's not what I do. Like the entire next day I was just so sad. I was so bummed out because I went, "Oh God, I ruined myself in this person's eyes."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting choked up now thinking about it because I was so sad for an entire day and a half probably until I got to talk to the person again in person, and it like they very much kind of assuaged my fears about that. But I still feel that I don't like talking about myself in that way.
Fair enough.
Please, what questions or comments or concerns are we
I'm
had
not
here?
a therapist, so I just want to preface that. I just want to preface that. However, again, I've seen various therapists in my life. I've also
Uh huh.
been the therapist friend for people.
Sure.
I've been through what you're going through right now. I think
Mm.
you and I we're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
We're on parallel paths. You're just a little bit further, but you've
Okay.
crossed over to my side, and now I'm crossing over to where your side. So we're still
Oh,
going down
okay.
the same paths together, but now we're on the opposite sides. So
Yeah. Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you're kind of working through the mental health and the self image stuff on this side, and
Right.
I'm trying to work through the more social aspect of my life.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
as somebody who also has prided themselves on being a light in the dark, being the positivity in people's lives, wanting to
Mm-hmm.
be the ray of sunshine. Because, I mean, looking back at my life, my main goal has always been to be the person who can make people laugh and
Boom.
bring up the vibe.
Yeah.
And it's reached a point in my life currently where if that's not the vibe, I kind of panic.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But what's it called? You have one thing you said that I want to bring attention to. There's a lot of things. One of them was you said that's
Totally.
not who I am, but I just have to ask: is that not who you are, or that's not who you were? Because you're a very different person than who you used to be if you look back at yourself.
Right.
And just because that's who you were, doesn't mean that's who you have to stay. Because you said there has been a lot of changes since 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and who you are now is not that person. You've been going out doing a lot of stuff, making friends, impacting people's lives,
Mm-hmm.
opening up to people, being very brave about a lot of stuff that we won't talk about right now. Uh, which 5 years ago you wouldn't even dream about.
Not even close.
So like, is it that much of a crazy thing that you've been stepping out of your comfort zone outwardly that you're now doing it inwardly? I know it's
Mm.
uncomfortable and it's
Uh-huh.
scary, very sure, very much that, but it's not the worst thing.
Right.
Um, and as somebody who has been just bottling up everything, it's gonna come out eventually, and it's better for you to come out with it voluntarily than it just bursting out unexpectedly on other people. And
Mm.
you are allowed to not be a perfect person. You're allowed to have trauma and bad things have happened to you. Everyone has it. It's going to
Right.
happen. And the whole point of life really is well, my point of view, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
of the point of life that we're trying to live is you can't have light without darkness.
Mm.
And the people who try to be the ray of sunshine the most are usually the people who have been through a lot of bad things and they don't want other people to experience those things as well.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, to that point, because I've had that exact thought about myself and then gone, that is so cringy and like,
it's cringy, but it's true.
no, no, no. Okay, okay. Maybe it's true, right?
Mhm.
But that in itself, that thought in itself is a rabbit hole that I've gone down. And I've gone, okay, so let's assume that I am some dark edge lord, right, underneath all of this. And I start revealing those parts of myself. Once we get to the end of the little string, like, what happens at the end of that, right? Once I'm totally revealed as a person, and at the end of that, they're looking back at like what's happened to me, and I'm looking back at what's happened to me, and I've gone, I really overreacted to all of this, and none of it is as bad as I thought it was. Like, I
Hey,
don't think I'm that traumatized. I don't want to
that's
compare my trauma to other people, but
respectfully, that is
mm,
also a trauma response.
what the
Hey, listen, again, like I said, two
what?
sides of the same coin. As someone who does that too,
Okay,
because I mean, I downplay my trauma, I downplay everything I've been through all the time.
right,
And there's some crazy stuff that I've been through. And even now, I'll look back and be like, it wasn't that bad. Or I'll have days where I'm like, I'm going through it real bad. And then I'll stop, like, I'm like mid breakdown. And then at some point, I'm just like, why am I crying? It's not even that serious. And then
right,
I'll stop and be like, is there anything actually wrong with me? Or am I just faking this all? Is this all for
yeah,
attention?
yeah,
And that in and of itself is indications of some stuff going on up here, bud.
really. Oh my god,
Um, but
that's
I think you
bad.
misunderstood what I was saying. I wasn't saying that you are in actuality this dark edge lord hidden. You're trying to keep hidden from people. It's more so that the past doesn't define you, and you have every opportunity to be who you want to be.
Mhm.
But even though the past doesn't define you, it still has shaped you. And if you keep running from it, it's just gonna start consuming you more and more. And that's not to say you need to open up to everybody that you talk to and trauma dump on
Right.
everybody. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. Because no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't do. I've gotten a lot better at that. Mostly. Oh God, no, I have. I just remember I made a new friend and we were talking about exes and I just trauma dumped the
Oh,
entire. It was. We were both talking about exes and we were both
yeah.
talking about relationship trauma. So
Sure.
it came out. So it wasn't like I just dumped all over them out of
Right,
nowhere.
right.
But anyways, um, yeah. In order to be a ray of sunshine, you have to be okay with knowing that you have shadows that were casted.
Mm.
Uh, but even though there are those shadows, that doesn't mean that's what the only thing that people will see about you.
That's yeah, yeah.
I like to make analogies. I hope that made sense at all.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. Like, I know there's no like, darkness is just the absence of light, right? Or
Mm.
shadow is just whatever the saying is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But like, to me, what it is more is just it's an irresponsibility on my part for
Mm-hmm.
not having handled the stuff that I should have handled a long time ago. I mean, you know my okay. What already getting into this?
Listen, hey, bud. Again, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but I've been in your shoes. I'm still in those shoes too. I
Uh huh.
literally had this conversation with my aunt last week.
Really?
Uh, which the biggest takeaway was give yourself more grace
Hmm.
for one, and two, don't beat yourself up for things that you haven't done for yourself, especially when it comes to previous things like this, like what we're talking about.
Right.
Because if you think about the way that you were raised and the world that you lived in and things like that, you weren't really properly equipped to handle that stuff. Uh,
I suppose.
Especially if your family is all about just bury it down and keep the peace,
Hmm.
you haven't really gained the tools you needed to actually take care of it because you're so used to just burying it down.
Right.
And I'm not, again, this is not me trying to downplay anything that you're feeling. I apologize if I am.
You're all
Um,
right.
I'm just saying that you're beating yourself up, and it's
Hmm.
unfair to beat yourself up because you haven't had the stuff that you needed until now. And you might not even have it now. Hell, just acknowledging it takes a lot to do. Sharing it with other people takes a
Yeah.
lot too. And then the next step is just kind of figuring out where you want to go from there.
Hmm.
Um,
That was one of the things that like I've talked to a lot of people about getting into therapy and like their experiences with therapy and seeing if maybe that's what I need to do because you know it's helpful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
It's also expensive, and I'm like,
It can be, yeah.
maybe once my my enrollment period for insurance comes back around, maybe I'll see about picking it up.
Might be a good
But
idea.
yeah, until then, I'm doing my best to
Mm-hmm.
not self therapize. That sounds really bad to say, but like I feel like I know what I need to do, right? I know that I need to put myself out there in that vulnerable state while also being careful not to be uh overly revelative.
Overly
Just
vulnerable, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's obviously I'm not going to volunteer like horrible things about myself,
Yeah.
but when stuff pops up, like for example, I when I had that sort of bad day the other earlier this week, I I journaled. I wrote down a lot of the stuff that I was thinking about and what I was feeling, and I kind of traced back some of the stuff that I was trying to rationalize in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, my response to just running away from things, in which is it's sort of not the flip side of bottling it up, but it's I mean they go hand in hand.
It's still
Like
avoidance, yeah.
yes, it is a full on avoidant uh uh personality type that a problem pops up and I can't instantly deal with it in the moment or at all and just go, well, if I'm not here, the problem is gone and I don't have to deal with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of traced it back theoretically. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
not a doctor.
Yeah.
No, nothing, right?
Get
But
it. I trust me, I get it.
yeah. The self-diagnosis in me traces a lot of this avoidant inside of me to how many times I moved when I was younger, right?
Mm.
And not even just moved like physically, right? I'm talking being changed from support systems to no support system, rebuilding a support system to no support system, right? So, like for example, I don't know if I've I'm sure I've told you this before. I don't know if I've said it on here. Where like I went to public school until I was in elementary school. Then I was pulled out of elementary school and during middle school was homeschooled. Um, it wasn't only I wanted to be pulled out. I don't remember why, but I remember having that discussion. Like it wasn't something that other people foisted upon me, right? I kind of did that to myself the first time, but got pulled out of there. And my friend group, that my gang that I ran with on the playground, and we bullied the crap out of people.
Your gaggle of friends, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who any of them are. Not today. I didn't know any of them. I mean, I was what 6, however old you are in elementary school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever age that was. Uh, you know, none of them I have knowledge of anymore, right? So got pulled out of that and became a homeschooler, right? Or sort of a private schooling, homeschooling sort of situation, right? Remade friends in the other space, right? They were also in this sort of homeschool, private school group until high school rolled around when when my family moved out of Texas and went to Japan, right? Again, none of those friends that I had, I've kept in contact with. I loosely know what they're doing because of stuff like Facebook or my, mutual acquaintance will tell me what they're up to or something like that. But I'm not really friends with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess I could reconnect, but you never know, right? So that was like the second time that I kind of got uprooted and my support system was thrown to the wind, right? And then at the end of Japan, right, I was there for 3 years, made a couple of friends, not as many, but a couple. Graduated a year early because that's just what I did, right? Skipped the entire socialization aspect of senior year and then, jetted off to go to college. I didn't keep in contact with any of those friends either. None of the people that I met in Japan, I'm in contact with. And I had some pretty good friends over there. Then when I went to community college, right, I made a couple of friends. I was only there for maybe 2 years. So not really long enough to form big attachments. And also, I had no desire to make those attachments because why would I, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving community college in whenever I could to go to an actual college, right? A 4-year degree.
A university.
Yeah, university, right? And so like I never made any connections with any of those people at all. Like they were cool. I liked a lot of them. But then, jetted off, never kept in contact with any of them again. So at this point, there's this pattern developing, right? Where I'm moving like a ghost in the system of coming into people's lives. We get to know each other and become good friends really, really fast. And then I just vanish. And I did the exact same thing at the end. Well, I almost did the exact same thing when I graduated from college at North Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it was between when I left and when you and I reconnected, but I basically just ghosted everybody in the Dallas area and went, I'll see you all if I see you ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then thank God we sort of reconnected for something. I don't remember what it was.
It might have been just for this, honestly.
I think it was because, like, I deep down had that value. I value this like so much. Just like, not just the recording side of being able to create content, but just like catching up with you as an individual, right? Like, like it feels nice to be able to maintain a relationship like this.
Oh, definitely.
And with a side product of, hey, we also get to, people get to kind of watch our journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been like, this was one of the things that I really reconnected with the most. And like 90% of the friends that I made up there, I'm not really in contact with. I'm in contact with like some of my D&D peeps.
Yeah.
And then you. And that's basically it. So like, again, I did the exact same thing where I uprooted, moved from Dallas to Austin, and was like, I'll just make a new friend group. And then kind of went into hermitage for 5 years, taking care of my grandmother and all this other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm,
It just went, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll make friends when I need to make friends. Now, I'm making friends again. I've made a lot of friends. I've made a lot of friends that I'm really, really invested in and who seem to be really, really invested in me. To the point where I'm receiving, messages from other people going, thank you for being awesome, right? And I'm going, heck yeah, I am awesome. Thank you so much for acknowledging that, right? Like, but then at the end of that, right? I've met all these people. I want to keep knowing these people and I want to keep developing our relationships. But then I do stupid stuff, like reveal way too much about myself. And like, I wrote all of this down, by the way. I'm paraphrasing what I wrote in my journal entry on Monday or Tuesday or whenever I wrote this thing, right? And I had this sort of drafted up for a couple of days until I got to talk to the person that I overshared with and was sort of trying to explain my feelings to them, going,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be perceived in this way because it makes me feel bad that I am being a negative force in a world that is so overwhelmingly negative, right? Why would I want to add to the pile of crap by shoveling my own crap onto the pile when I could very much just carry my bucket and go, I'm going to work on this soon. And then just keep carrying that bucket, right, forever and go, like, I don't have a bucket. That bucket's never, I got plenty of room left in the bucket before I got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I had this conversation with this person and then went, because I tried to do the same thing. I went, I can't be your friend. I'm sorry. I can't be there for you in the way that you are for me. And I feel really bad about that. I felt really bad about that. And then went, I think I need to like step back entirely and like reevaluate everything. Like my life, getting into partying and meeting new people and, being social. I went, this is just too much for me to do right now. And we talked for like 2 or 3 hours just about like, because like I know it's irrational. I know it's irrational.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's irrational doesn't help me rationalize it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm going, well, how the hell am I supposed to get over this thought if the thought itself is based on a complete fallacy and I can't break and I can't accept that fallacy for being false? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I wrote that journal entry up and I'm basically paraphrasing it here. And at the end of our conversation, like later that night, I went, nothing, this phrase has popped into my head a couple of times, right? Nothing can change if I change nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So to do the same response that I have done to everything, right? Oh, I got too close to these people. I need to disconnect and run. This problem has popped up. I can't deal with it, or it would be easier to deal with it via avoidance than direct confrontation. So let's run. Doing that again means that I'm just feeding back into the exact same system that I've grown accustomed to for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so at the end of that night, I'm just going to post this message to my people and be like, hey, I've titled it really. In hindsight, I can't go back and read it now, to be totally honest with you, because
Oh
it makes
no.
me cringe so bad. But
Oh,
the
hey, listen, that's the
title,
headspace you were in. That's all that
I
matters.
know. But I titled it in the worst possible way, like looking back at it, because I got a ton of very supportive responses,
You're
and
just
then
like,
looking back at it, I went, this
my
maybe made it look like I was in really really bad, like an awful like a much
well, you
worse
were.
headspace than I was. Well,
You look
no, like
in hindsight, it feels that way, but when you were in that headspace, it felt that way.
that. I guess that is true. Well, because when I
Yes,
titled it was there's something fundamentally wrong with me as a human being.
John.
And then I went and
I,
basically described this trauma response of running away from everything and
mm-hmm.
going, I can't make a connection deeper than surface level because I can't. Full stop. I can't rationalize my lack of depth with other people. And that, like, I did my best to explain that to everybody, and then went, I'm just going to post this because this, I think, is the exposure therapy that I need to the first step on my adoption of the out is through mentality. Like, I'm going to push through. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to show sides of myself that I think I'm going to be very uncomfortable doing, because it's going to help me not be, I don't know, a coward in terms of my own
It's gonna help
stability
you
inside.
break away from the pattern. Let's just say that.
Yes. Yes.
We don't like to use those negative terms like stupid or coward.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I will start beating you up the more you say it. This is your one warning. That's all
But
I'm saying.
it is a form of cowardice. I can't face my own demon. So,
Yes.
like, yet, right? Yeah. And so people keep telling me that, oh, it's very brave, to show that side of yourself. I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel brave. It feels like I'm ripping skin off of my body, going, hey everybody, and then waving it around like a flag and going, hey everybody, look at me. Look how dark and angsty I am. Like,
It's
this
not
version of
dark and
myself,
angsty to be vulnerable, John. It's not dark and angsty to be vulnerable. It's dark and angsty to keep it bottled up and running away from it. You're just being vulnerable and sharing a side of yourself that you aren't normally accustomed to doing.
That is true. Yeah, yeah.
You're fine. It's okay. If it will make you feel better, I could talk about
Right.
some of my own stuff that I struggle with, so you're not alone here.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, I gotta go pull it up. I mean, because there's hold
No,
on.
but please don't feel the need to
Hey,
like.
hey.
Mm,
I'm very comfortable with sharing my vulnerability. I've
sure.
always been, as you're very aware, as I've trauma dumped on you many
Oh
a
yeah,
times.
yeah. We've talked about this. I love being able to be that person to somebody.
Yes. Because I remember, oh god, there was this one time a couple months ago, I think, where I was
Mm,
just not doing good at all. Like the mental
yeah.
was so bad to the point where I was talking to Chanel about it. I think I talked to my
Right.
aunt about it, and I randomly just messaged Chris and was like, "Hey, I just want you to know this is like what's going on in my headspace right now. I'm not doing good." And
Yeah.
he goes, Do you want to talk about it? I can come over real quick." Just got
Hmm.
off of work too, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
So like he came over and I was like, well, here's what my journal says. And then I just kind of, like you did, try to explain everything and
Right.
try to explain, like, be like, it's not that big of a deal, blah, 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 blah. But the journal, I think that time was specifically about him
Oh,
and our
okay.
relationship.
Right.
Because I have attachment and abandonment issues. I have really bad abandonment issues. Um, to the point to where the other day I had a little breakdown because Jacob's moving out this summer.
Oh no.
It was bad. That
Right.
was the day that I was talking to my aunt about this other thing, and
Yeah.
so she was basically saying like, "Hey, you gotta remember, you got trauma, you have some issues with abandonment, and even though they're not leaving you because of you, they are still leaving, and that might have triggered you." And so I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can I come bug you for a second?" And he was like, "Sure." And I go to his room, and I'm just staring at him, and he goes, "What?" I'm like, "Can I have a hug?" He goes, "Uh oh, bad day."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." And then I had a breakdown. It was
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing. But I was just told him like, "I'm just very sad that you're leaving." It was a whole thing. But
Yeah.
with Chris that day, he came over. I read the whole thing to him and I was explaining it to him or whatever. And then I try to rationalize it because that's also what I do is rationalizing my emotions,
Hey, welcome to the
which is
club. Yeah.
also something that I'm working on. Instead of just allowing myself to feel them, I feel like I have to explain them to
Right.
and because explaining them makes them valid or invalid. Um,
Sure.
and when you're rationalizing, when you're being logical, you're not being emotional. So if I can explain my feelings, then
Yeah.
I'm not feeling them anymore.
Right.
It's a whole thing. But yeah, and it all came down to I was terrified that he was going to leave me. There was
Oh
no
yeah.
reason for it to happen.
Right.
There was, to my knowledge, there was no indication that he would. This
Right.
was my just abandonment issues coming to the forefront and telling me, yeah, things aren't working. Oh, because this is at a time where we weren't hanging out very much and we weren't texting
Sure.
very often either.
Yeah.
Because he had just got a promotion at work and he was just really stressed, really bad at work. And he would go to work, he would come home and just pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he would be on social media for a little bit, just doom scrolling, but like we wouldn't talk. So
Right.
my mind goes, there's been a break in the pattern. We're not talking as much. He doesn't
Mm.
hang out with me. It's been a long time. He's gonna leave. I did something to
Right.
piss him off or make him mad. Blah blah blah. That whole thing. So I let him know that, and then it all came to the forefront, and I just a full on breakdown. I'm talking like sobbing, crying. It was really bad.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Uh, and he just hugged me or whatever, and I was like, I'm just scared that you're gonna leave, or that you don't like me anymore, blah blah blah. Very dramatic, but that's
Sure.
how I was feeling at the time. Looking
Yeah.
back at it, it's like that's so ridiculous that you felt that way, you silly
Yeah.
little goofball.
Yep. I
um
feel that.
and obviously he was like, I'm not going anywhere, we're still together.
Mm-hmm.
Things have gotten a lot better since then. We've seen each other I think 3 times this week, 2 or 3 times, yeah, 3 times this week,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
cool.
Nice.
And we've just been playing games and having great times. But yeah, so like things change for the better. I'm an
Right.
optimist, so that's how I feel about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with this other thing, how can I paraphrase this? I'm not dealing with it currently, but it's kind of in the back of my mind.
Right.
Of I've been having an identity crisis very bad. Um,
Oh yeah. I think we
for
briefly touched on this.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I've broken it down into 3 or 4 different possible reasons.
Yeah.
One of them is the mask I've had is breaking off, and I don't know who I am.
Mm.
One of them is a trauma response, but I don't know from what.
Okay.
The last one, yeah, it's 3. The last one was, um, as we know, it's Pride Month. One of my friends has come out to me recently, and it made me think, am I also? I don't
Mm.
know. And I think it's because it was like, I never imagined one of my, because all of my friends that I've had that are LGBT and queer,
Right.
they were already like that identity when I met them. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like the first person that's really come out to me before, and
Oh. Okay.
or the first one since high school, I should say.
Right.
And so it was very much like, oh, that's cool, huh? Am I also? Because I'm a gay man,
Mm.
but I had me
Sure.
questioning, am I just a
Congratulations
gay
on
man? Yeah, we love that. But it was like, am I only a gay man, or is there other things going on? And then
Right.
I was questioning things about, my identity. I do like men, like that's just there. That hasn't
Sure.
changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not very attracted to women, even though there's so many beautiful women, and I wish I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd be a great boyfriend to a woman. That's all I gotta say. Um, that's all I'm gonna say. But
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
It was more so about, I guess, how I present myself, my
Mm.
presentation, my the trigger warning for conservatives, pronouns,
Oh, right.
things like
Yeah.
that. Because like I'm very much under the idea that I don't really care what you call me. You can call me whatever. I'm gonna answer. But
Okay.
I even came to the points where I was like, um, my name sometimes doesn't feel like it's my own name.
Right.
And so that kind of, I just kind of went through I wrote a lot
Oh,
about
no
it.
kidding. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if I can paraphrase this even more. I talked about mental health stuff. Don't know about like if I'm actually masking who I am, because I used to
Mm.
do it growing up, because I could fit, the chameleon. I could fit into any circle.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but because of that, it kind of forced me to, or caused me to not really know who, or have this identity of myself. I could be
Yeah.
whoever people needed or wanted me to be. And so it was very much like, okay, well, who do I need myself to be? Well, I don't know. I don't even know who I
Oh, yeah.
am. So that was a whole thing. I question, because we make jokes all the time that I have. Hello, hi,
Sorry, somebody wanted to come say hi real
who
quick.
are you?
This is Joy. I don't think she's been on camera before.
Hello, Joy. I didn't know we were gonna have a guest today. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Look in the camera, Joy. Look up
Joy is
there.
adorable. I love her. That's my new best friend. Hey, you got to get out of here. This is now
Yeah,
this
come
is
on,
still
get out.
JttL, but it's Joy Tucks to Lamb now.
The red light's on.
Oh
Recording is in
no.
process.
Oh no.
Right.
Um
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted.
but yeah, we make jokes that me and my friends, especially my roommates, that we all have like ADHD or autism, because it's one
Sure.
of those things where it's like there's too many boxes that are checked for it not to be one of those things, but none of
Yeah.
us are like officially diagnosed or anything.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But like because of that, I don't genuinely know if that is what's going on. I also learned that some of those symptoms and things overlap with other mental disorders or mental health things, such as
Right.
complex PTSD, which I have been diagnosed with. So it made me
Sure.
think: do I have ADHD and or autism, or is this just trauma? I
Mm.
don't know. And that was something I had to kind of figure out, or I'm still figuring out. I also asked
Right.
if I was just depressed, because
Right.
I do think I was depressed, but I had definitely have high functioning depression. So like it's one of those
Sure.
where I'm depressed, but I'm still doing everything that I need to do, so it feels like I'm not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because my room my room hasn't really been dirty. It's mostly just clothes. I had a pile of clean clothes on the floor for about 3 weeks, and I would just do laundry, throw the pile there,
Right.
and the dirty clothes they'd go in the hamper. But like that's all my dirtiness was. But I just kind of left it there because I was just too lazy to do anything about it. Or
Sure.
I don't know if lazy is the right term, but I just couldn't do anything about it. And I would just stare about it, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, I really need to clean my room. I really need to clean my room. And it,
Mm-hmm.
it was that cycle for a good 3 or 4 weeks. I think it was three
Wow.
weeks.
Yeah.
And then one
Yeah.
day I was like, me and Chris were going to hang out. And I said, if I'm going to hang out with Chris, I'm going to clean my room. And so I
Right.
did. And all of my roommates were like, wow, I can see the floor in here. This is kind of weird.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
They're a bunch of haters. um, Oh, and then I talked about the whole one of my close friends coming out to me recently,
Mm.
and like how I don't know if that kind of triggered everything or if this was something just
Yeah.
there already, but it made me think: is this just some weird, messed up FOMO kind of issue? Because I know I have really bad
Oh.
FOMO, fear of missing out, for those who don't know.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
And so it's like, well, I've got all these queer friends,
Mm.
and I'm also a queer man, but like I don't fit in that box of what it means to be a gay man.
Right.
So maybe I need to fit in a different box. Maybe I have to try to conform into another box, essentially.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um and then and that's when I talked about the pronouns thing. Um and then we got to more of the mental health, which I've talked about in the past, where looking at myself in the mirror, I don't recognize
Mm.
who I am.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
that's definitely a lot more mental health stuff. And then the biggest portion. This is
Right.
all one paragraph.
Holy
Uh,
cow. Okay.
it could be condensed down to, I don't know, which I've talked about, I think last week. I don't know if
Mm.
I'm happy with who I am. I'm content with who I am, but I
Right.
don't know if I'm happy with who I am, and I don't know what I would have to change to be happy with myself.
Wow. Okay.
It is very hard, very deep. But
Yeah.
then this one kind of got broken down into looking back at past versions of myself, and I kind of
Right.
split them up into different, I guess, eras. So there's like
Oh, sure.
pre-adolescent, so like just young kid. There's like
Right.
teenager and like middle high school era. Then there's college, and then there's now, which technically I could really even break that up even more. But those are the big four groups.
Hmm.
Everything before now, my brain can't associate with anymore.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so when I look back at my memories from especially those 3 time periods, it feels like it's somebody else's memories. It feels like it's a different
Mhm.
lifetime, that it's not my own. And that,
Interesting.
oh, that was
Yeah.
a wild thing to kind of figure out. Cause then oh, good Lord. I'm gonna say he, because this is me in a different headspace.
Right.
I feel like we're watching more I don't recognize, didn't live those events. I forget all the bad things that happened to me, and that's probably due to trauma, of course.
Sure.
But I get frustrated with myself and my actions, and I keep asking myself, why am I doing this?
Hmm.
Why am I like this? There's nothing wrong with you, so why can't you just act right?
Oh,
Why can't
okay.
you just live your life just like everyone else and always have to find something that ruins you and torments you and focus on it until it consumes you for so
Mm.
long that you just absorb it into you and it sits in the back of your mind, whispering sweet nothings of how awful you actually are? Why can't you just be happy with who you are?
Dang, man. Dude, that is holy gracious.
um,
That
and
hurts. That
then
hurts to hear. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
it was a rough time. I was writing
Yeah.
this in the middle of work,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
shop. I was not having a good time,
Yeah.
and I even I had to text my boss and be like, "Hey, I'm currently in the shop. I just need a minute. I'm not doing good." And he was
Right.
like, "It's cool. I'm not doing good either." Blah 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 blah. But then the next portion is where I like genuinely had, I guess it was kind of a breakthrough, but mostly a breakdown.
Okay.
Like the sob fest.
Ah,
And it was me answering why, the answer of why to all
right.
this. And I just
Yeah.
said, because, period. I'm living the life those boys should be living. That hit hard for me because again, I the previous versions of myself, those 3 big ones, I
Right.
don't feel like those are me. I don't connect with them anymore,
Yeah.
or I haven't connected with them. And so it feels like I have this weird survivor's guilt, that I'm
Right.
living the life that one of them could or should have been living, but I'm the one living this life.
Oh, okay.
Which, that's all
Interesting.
my life.
Right.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
all it's
yeah.
all me. But it doesn't feel like my life should belong to me, because they essentially, it felt like they had to give up their life so I could be here.
Hmm.
But they're all me, so why do I feel that way? It was a very, very tough thing to kind of
Yeah.
write out and
No
say.
kidding.
Um, and it feels awful and wrong to that I don't connect with them, because the lives that they lived are what shaped me to be who I am.
Right.
And the fact
Yeah.
that my brain can't wrap around the idea that, not even the idea, the fact that those are my memories and those are me, those are just
Yeah.
little me. It feels
Mhm.
like I've stolen their life.
Jeez.
It feels like I stole the life that they deserve to live.
Yeah.
And the reason why I can't just sit here and be happy with my life is because I have to acknowledge what they went through. I have to acknowledge their life, their struggles, their joys, the things that they had. Because
Mhm.
if I don't, then it feels like I'm just erasing them from my memory.
I see. I see the
Uh,
survivor's guilt,
yeah, I guess
that's
I guess to put it in another perspective, it's like I'm the Avatar, right?
sure.
Um, I'm the Avatar, and those past versions, that was rude. Those past versions of myself are previous avatars, and it
Sure.
feels unfair that they had to give up their lives and what they had so I could be
Mm.
the next avatar.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big takeaway that I had from that,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's crazy.
Right.
That's a crazy thought process to have, and that's a crazy thing to say out loud. It's not crazy
Sure.
to me because that's just my live experience.
Yeah.
But to say out loud and tell other people that I feel guilty for stealing the lives that my younger self should have had,
Hmm.
it kind of hurts a lot.
I mean, I do understand the separation from a previous existence is it's weird to put into the head because
Yeah.
like I mean, I for sure was on a very destructive path when I was in college, like 5 years ago when I started losing weight. Like I think I think I told you off air because I still remember you. I told you this off air, and then you went, why didn't we record that part? Because I went like, the version of me that existed before this moment died, like unironically. I don't know what it was. It was
Mm-hmm.
in the alternate reality of where I was, who that person was. They died of a heart attack. They died of, I don't know, being of diabetes. Who knows what it
Yeah.
was, right? Of just something catastrophically was going to go wrong. And so there was a giant schism in my mind where everything up from that moment onwards is who I feel like I am now, who I've been
Mm-hmm.
building for years now at this point.
Yeah.
Prior to that, that was all not multiple people, but it feels like a different person entirely.
Yeah.
That I'm now having to carry their baggage because they have baggage. And the
Yeah.
new version of me, new version, right? The version of myself that's always existed under the surface of that other person is doesn't really have the same kind of baggage. I've got different baggage now, totally
Yeah.
different, like equally as annoying, like
Yeah.
body dysmorphia, oh god, eating disorder stuff,
Being vulnerable to your friends.
yeah, being actually able to open up. Like it's a lot of different problems that the
Mm-hmm.
old me didn't have because didn't care. Because it
Mm-hmm.
was like coping using other
Other
ways to cope.
means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely get that.
And
Like
so,
I said, two sides of the same coin. We're just on
uh,
different parts of our journey.
yeah.
In this case, we're kind of opposites. Because
Mm,
whereas I guess no, we're still similar because we both have to deal with the baggage of other people.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Like
but
we got to carry their crap and our crap
yeah,
because those bastards didn't deal with their crap when they were
yeah,
supposed to.
those darn bastards, those children who
Yeah.
didn't have
Every
the.
single time that I said that's a problem for future me is me going, that asshole. Why would he do that to me? I hate him.
You know what? That's completely fair. That's so funny actually. That's hilarious because now you are future you.
Uh-huh. And future
Oh
me is going,
no.
oh my god, this shelf is so full of bottles.
It's gonna
What do I
collapse.
do? I opened
That's
up one
hilarious.
bottle and it turned out to be pressurized and
And then just boom, and then
fermented
everything
inside of
just
there.
came down.
Yep. Yep.
Hold
And I
on,
went, okay, let's open these bottles very slowly,
I gotta write
very
something real
carefully.
quick. Don't pay attention to me.
Oh,
Keep going,
okay,
keep
sure.
going.
Yeah. It was yeah, no, I it's been a lot to deal with the past like 2 months because all of this came to light uh literally like 2 months ago. Yeah, I think this is maybe my third month that all the people around me, like I think I said that when I posted that thing about my detachment disorder and
Mm-hmm.
running away from stuff and like breaking down my history, the response that I got to that was overwhelming. Like there were so many people, some people that I hadn't even talked to beyond like I knew what they looked like. We'd said maybe one or two sentences to each other. But they like, and even strangers that well not yeah, strangers, like people that I'd never met before, right? Like left comments on this thing that I put out there that they were like, "Hey, I know we don't know each other." Just like that message that I woke up to this morning where it's like, "I don't know who you are, but you're amazing and keep doing what you're doing." And I went, all right, sure. It was the same thing where
You know what that
somebody that
is?
I'd never met, I
A
didn't know who they
support
were.
system.
Apparently, we had met before, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know them. I didn't recognize their like username or
You've been meeting a
anything.
lot of people. How would you know?
Exactly, exactly. They were like, "Hey, we met at like this event the other week," and I went, "Who were you? I didn't meet that many people." And like, oh well, I guess the next time we run into each other, like, please come up and talk to me because I'd love to talk to you about this. Because they left like, I mean, my response or my post that I made was it was giant. It was like about the size maybe that one that you wrote,
Mm.
and the response, like 2 or 3 of the responses that I got were about that long, where they were like, hey, um, they resonated with a lot of what I was saying about not getting close to people for fear of getting too close and then that person leaving or me messing something up and them like not wanting to be my friend anymore, or like, I don't know, them doing something. I mean, I don't know, I never really had that problem of them doing something and me not wanting to be their friend, but like, you never know, right? I like feared the ending so much. Ironically, maybe ironically, I've told people this before. I'm like, hey, oh, you're gonna get hurt by the end of this? Cool, still do it. Go along for the ride. And then the moment that turned about on me, where it was like, hey, like, what if this thing ends? And that thought immediately replayed in my head of, well, do it anyway because the journey is just as fun as the destination, right? And I
Mm-mm.
went, oh,
Can't
I'm
do
wrong.
that.
I'm
Yep.
wrong. I'm 100% wrong. I've been
Oh,
wrong about this. I've been
absolutely.
telling
Get
people
that.
totally wrong.
Completely understand that mentality.
Yep.
That's how. Again, I'm the friend who people will, like you said, people feel comfortable telling me stuff. I can
Yeah.
give you advice out the ass. I can give you the
Right.
most beneficial, the most sage advice I've ever given in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to that similar situation or where that advice would work for me, I can't hear it. I refuse
Yeah.
to hear it. If somebody gives me that advice, mm-mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm-mm. Or
It's
specifically, if they're like, "Yeah, remember what you told me?" No,
yeah.
that's not
No,
gonna
I
work
don't.
here.
I was making stuff up. I was totally
Yeah,
wrong.
I'll say it on my ass.
I might have been never. I might never have been more wrong about what I
Actually,
told
forget
you
what
to
I told
do.
you. Like that
Yeah.
never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take it back. I take it all back. I
but
don't give
that's the
people
human
advice.
experience,
Uh
baby.
huh. I'm not qualified.
Mm-hmm.
I am neither paid nor qualified to be sorting anybody out, including myself.
Exactly. But if you have issues, let me know. I can help you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Feel free to trauma dump on me because I will give you advice.
Yeah, I won't use my own experience anymore because clearly that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I usually make analogies to my own experience, and I'm like, hey, so
Oh
I did
yeah.
this today with you.
Right.
Like, yeah, I hear like you told me this. I have something kind of similar to that.
Right.
Here's
Yeah. Yeah.
here's here's what happened in that situation whenever I did it.
Yeah.
And that's just how I relate to people. And I apologize if somebody feels like I'm trying to take the thunder away from them.
Not at all.
Because
No.
that's not the goal at all.
Yeah. 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 For sure. I mean, it's good to get it out there because, like I said, that was my first step on the exposure therapy tour of if I'm not able to be seen, I'm not able to change my fear of being seen.
Mm.
So I have to put it out there, and I have to be able to take the downsides of being a public figure, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Oh hi, sorry, I'm fidgeting with my
Why
little.
do you just have Toon Link?
I
Is that
told you I mess with stuff all the
Is
time.
it your emotional support Toon Link?
No, I have a couple of amiibos that showed up on my desk randomly.
I see. Rob
Rob.
Toon Link. Got it.
Yeah, I've also got Mario and Luigi that are just
Understood.
hanging out. Yeah, sorry, I got really distracted. Yeah, it's important to get it out there because once it's out there, I can start dealing with it.
Correct.
And once it's like, I mean, written down is think I was saying earlier that I don't only journal the bad things.
Mhm.
I try and turn my focus to as positive of the experience as I can. So the parties that I've gone to, the people that I've interacted with, just the things that I've done in the past month that I really enjoyed, it's stuff that I want to remember forever, right? So I mean, like you said, the brain kind of has a way of disregarding and letting go of fun stuff, like just memories in general. So like, I'm totally okay with forgetting about the fact that I had a panic attack on Monday, but I'm not okay with not remembering the stuff that I figured out about myself during that time period.
Mhm.
So like, I wrote down the response that I had, the stuff that I started thinking about, but like I'm trying to lessen the impact of that on future me when I go back and look through my little journal entries and go, well, like, look at that. Look at this awesome party that I got to do. Look at these cool people that I got to interact with. Look
Yeah.
at this thing that I realized about myself because I interacted with these people. Okay, this one was a bit of a bad experience. Then the next one was like, oh my God, what an amazing moment, right? And I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that 6 months from now, a month from now, right? A year from now, 10 years from now, because I've met people that are like 70 that are still having fun and getting out and like, you know, being part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want when I'm 70 to be able to look back at everything that I've done, not just journal wise, right? But like if I can have that trail of, wow, look at where I started. And then 50 years from now, 40 years from now, sorry, math, like where, look at the journey that I am intending on going on. It all starts, it's crazy because it feels like it starts 2 months ago. It starts
Yeah.
right now. And I'm like looking down this long road ahead of me going, I don't know where the ending is. I don't have a finite destination in mind.
It's not
But
about
this
the
is,
destination, it's about the journey.
yep. But I'm just going to keep walking. And the road's going to keep being there.
Yeah. And if
So
not, let's find a trail.
Yeah, we'll find a way around the obstruction.
Ow.
And have the best time of our lives doing it.
Yeah. I'd like to close with you by saying something that my aunt has been hammering into my head.
Okay.
Is that we're not even 30 yet.
Right.
And we're figuring out and reflecting on and like just doing so much good for ourselves, like just mentally, emotionally, hell, in your case, physically, me not so much, but like you're doing so much good for yourself. We're doing things that people who are in like their 40s, 50s, if not even older, have not sat with themselves to try to figure out.
Right. Yeah.
Like we're doing all the work now to have a better life later.
Yeah. I fully believe that our 30s are going to be peak, baby.
Peak.
It's uphill right now, but the crest of the hill is right there.
Yeah, we're about to hit that climax of the story, and then it's just gonna keep going because it's a flat top.
It's gonna be a
flat top
plateau.
mountain. That's what it's called, a plateau. Yeah. And if the world doesn't end in the next couple of years, it's gonna be even better.
For sure. Yeah.
You and me, baby, we're gonna be on top of the world.
I mean, on top of the world. We're on top of the world right now.
Exactly.
There's only a couple more steps, and then we're even more on top of the world.
Yeah. We're on the stairway to heaven. Yeah. We're about to hit outer space. Let's go with that.
Yeah. What was the point of that song? Okay, right.
No, because I was like, wait, is it Stairway to Heaven, or am I thinking of Highway to Hell? Anyways,
both. We stepped off of the highway to hell onto the stairway to heaven.
Yeah.
And now there ain't no mountain high enough, if you know what I mean.
Until we get to Toto, Africa.
Yeah, God. Oh my God. Get out of here. What is that? Bye, everybody.